What's up, everybody? Welcome back for some more PGA DFS picks and lineup advice. This time for the John Deere Classic, FanDuel and DraftKings tips, best bets, everything you need for your DFS lineups. Welcome. I'm Brian Jester, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy. If you are new here, welcome. What we do in these PGA videos every single week is we talk about the betting markets, the sharp moves at all the sports books that we monitor, which golfers' odds to win are improving. We analyze the weather and the course characteristics, and then we discuss some ownership, who are going to be the most popular plays, and who are some under the radar gems that can help us win those big GPPs. So let's just jump right into it. Now, this event, the weather doesn't appear to be too much of a factor. Maybe some slightly windy tee times early on Thursday. But again, this is pretty tree lined. We don't feel like the weather will have a huge impact here. So there are some weeks where it's a major impact, some weeks it's not. This looks like one of those weeks where we don't really have to consider the weather for our lineups. So that's just one factor out the window that we don't really have to worry about. So let's talk about the course itself. It's honestly pretty similar setup to last week. If you remember this video, if you watched any of the event, hell, if you just looked at the leaderboard, birdie fest, putting heavy. You want to get the ball in play off the tee. Not as big of a ball striking course as some of these other courses on tour, but we should see scores in the minus 20 range, up to minus 30 even. And we're going to need guys who can go low, have thrived in easy scoring conditions, can have some good drives off the tee, and can make a bunch of birdies. It's really what it comes down to. Putting obviously comes into that. We know it's a little more of a variance fest than other areas of the golf game, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Instead, let's turn our focus to the betting markets. Every week, we analyze 4 sharp sports books, and we look at the odds to win from when the lines open, and then we analyze throughout the week until the odds close. And if a golfer's odds to win have improved at every sharp sportsbook, we mark that as an overlap play, whatever it may be. To us, that means these books are getting enough sharp action and respected action that they're willing to move these golfers' odds to win. And if all of them are getting hit, all of them are respecting this golfer or the bets on this golfer, that generally means that golfer is a pretty good play in DFS. So, had a long list of names last week. We already have 6 this week. Goes to show the wide open nature of the event. We say that, and of course, Ricky Fowler at 36% ownership or whatever won last week. However, very wide open still, as we saw the leaderboard on Friday, and it's going to be the same this week. So 6 guys check the box so far, and again, this will move and change throughout the day. I'll post a final overlap list tonight in our Discord server, occupyfantasy.com/Discord. That link is in the description below. Normally 7, 8, 9 p.m. Eastern, somewhere in that window, I'll post the final list. As of now, we do have 6 guys. So let me bring up the 6 guys on my end, and I will tell you all about them. First one is, unsurprisingly, Denny McCarthy, the most expensive golfer in the field, the favorite to win this event. If you're looking for a birdie fest, a putting contest, why not pick one of the best putters in the world? And McCarthy, top 5 in this field in birdie percentage. Birdies are better percentage. Again, we're looking for guys who can go low here. So McCarthy fits the bill, as he should, at 10,600 on DraftKings. Had a tie for 6th last year in this event. So checks a lot of boxes. Not really the type of guy to play Denny McCarthy at $10,600. I won't blame you if you do. Will I have as much of him? I don't know. If we go to our Occupy model and we look at projected ownership, he is projected to be the most popular player in the field at 26%. Scroll down so you can see this. 26%. Unsurprisingly, people want to use all the salary. They're going to play for it. Doesn't matter what name that is at the top of the board. They're going to pay up for it. So McCarthy, 26% this week. He gets the overlap play justification behind him, so not the worst move to play him. It just feels bad intuitively to play 26% owned, 10,600 Denny McCarthy. That's all I'm saying. All right, moving on. We have Carl Yuan, who rookie on tour. Let's go back to DraftKings. Let's bring him up. 6,800. So we'd like to see that. Let's look at his game logs here. Some miscuts in between, but has been playing well as of lately. T14 at the Rocket Mortgage, T18 at the Canadian Open, and he's also in his limited time on tour, top 5 in this field in birdies or better made percentage. So, guy who's shown he can make birdies at this level, $6,800. And if we go back to the model and we type him in, if I can type him in, We see him at 2% projected ownership on DraftKings. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, you can. Okay, 2% owned on DraftKings. Our projection. Anytime we get overlap plays at less than 5%, we love to hammer those plays. All right, back to DraftKings. Number 3 is Lucas Glover. May not be too shocking. It's 7,200. Should be pretty popular actually if we look up Glover in our model. Yeah, 14%, which is pretty high for a $7,200 golfer. Let's go back to DraftKings. But Lucas Glover, he actually won this event 2 years ago. We know those types of golfers are going to get love in following years. And as we talked about the importance of getting it in play off the tee and having good positions off the tee, Lucas Glover is top 5 in this field in good drives gained. For those of you unaware of what good drives gained, that stat is. Basically, it's looking at in the fairway, or even if it's off the fairway, do you get the on the green in the next shot or a green in regulation? Basically, if you're bombing it and you're still close, you can get it on the green. That counts as a good drive. Or if you're just in the middle of the fairway, that counts as a good drive as well. So really, it encapsulates a lot of factors when it comes to driving. Basically, can you get it in the right position? And it doesn't penalize distance over accuracy, which is why I like that stat. Glover, top 5 in the field in that category. Next, we have Akshay Bhatia. Let's get him up here on the screen. Oh, he's already in my lineup. That's why. And is it Bhatia or Bhatia? I apologize to the to Akshay either way. But look at Bhatia, top 10 in birdie percentage in this field, 7,100. And if we go to the model, we'll see Bhatia, 5% owned on DraftKings. Love to see that. All right, next we have Ches Reavie. Let's go back to DraftKings. Ches Reavie, who we were big on last week at Occupy Fantasy, was a cover boy. Actually, he's a cover boy this week. Made that mistake. Cover boy this week. So Niramata, our golf writer, likes him as well. Gets that betting market backup. So again, any type of overlap from different sources, always love to see that in PGA DFS. Ches Reavie, 7,700. He's playing pretty well. Had a top 5 here previously. Top 5 in that good drives gain statistic in this field. Was in contention a couple weeks ago. Has been playing well. If you look at his game logs here. Yeah, T4 at the Travelers. That's when he was super in contention. Fell off on Sunday, but make just a string of made cuts here. So looks like Reavie should be able to contend this week. And if we look at his ownership, I think it's gone up a little bit since our initial projection. Yeah, up to 11% now. So not ideal, but again, not prohibitive by any means. And finally, we have Alex Smalley. Let's just look at his ownership first since we're already in the model. 14%, so a more popular golfer, I would say. And Alex Smalley, already in my lineup as well, 8,900. Smalley, he is top 7, top 10, if you want to round down, in easy scoring conditions in this field. Strokes gained in easy scoring conditions. This will be easy scoring conditions. We talked about that. That statistic last week, similar conditions this week. And he's made the cut both times here at the John Deere Classic, top 20 last time out. So Smalley checks a lot of boxes here, and 8,900 price isn't prohibitive either. All right, so that'll do it for the betting market moves. Again, final updates will be tonight around 8 p.m. Eastern in our Discord. Now, let's close it out with some ownership, and we go back to the model. We sort by highest projected ownership to lowest projected ownership. We see Denny McCarthy, Russell Henley, 7, 8 guys in that 15% or higher range that we deem highly owned. One guy I will call out here is Emiliano Grillo, who won at Colonial a few weeks ago, whatever it was now. There's actually a decent amount of overlap in that event at Colonial. So there's a large group of guys who have contended at both Colonial and the John Deere Classic. So Grillo checks that box, obviously winning that event recently. So if you're looking for some more tiebreakers, you're looking for some more, trying to unearth some other plays, go look at Colonial. Grillo fits that as well. Last week, we called out Keegan Bradley as a guy to fade in this range. He didn't hurt you, didn't really help you, didn't miss the cut or anything, but I would say underperformed a little bit. But there's no real guy this week that sticks out as, oh, you should probably fade this guy for any one reason or the other. Most of these guys rank pretty favorably in our model. Don't see any. I guess the biggest one is Adam Svensson, 7,300. Our partnered sportsbook, Sugar House, New Jersey, has moved his odds in the other way. So that's not a great look. And, we're generally not willing to play higher owned, low salary golfers. That works out far less often than the ownership indicates. So maybe Svensson's the guy to fade out of this group, but the rest of the guys, and even Svensson himself, rate pretty favorably by our OF index. So just something to think about. Instead, let's turn our attention to golfers projected for 6% or less on DraftKings. These are those Coveted GPP winners, you get one or two of these guys that finish top 5. You're going to be at the top of a GPP if you get 6 out of 6. So I'll just call out a couple of names. We already mentioned a couple on that overlap list. Let's look at a couple that fit the bill here. So we talked about Akshay. Nick Hardy, 5% projected ownership. He calls this his favorite event of the year. It's his hometown event. Hasn't missed a cut here. Nick Hardy, 5%. He's also got that Adams Fenson move here, but we're going to take the qualitative data here. And we read the pressers. We listen to player quotes. Hardy loves this event, 5% owned. Anytime you get a little extra motivation for a guy, that will not show up in his ownership. So we'd like to see it. So Nick Hardy, 5%. Moving on, Davis Thompson, 4%. Oftentimes, you'll hear me on this show, you hear Nirmata in our daily plug talk about high career ceilings, get ahead of the curve, guys who we think have wins in their future. And we want to get on board and play them in DFS while A, their ownership is low, and B, their salaries are low. And Davis Thompson is a guy that checks a lot of those boxes. If you remember way back in the earlier, all the way back in February, the Amex, he contended with John Rahm, was back and forth with John Rahm in a birdie fest. I know John Rahm said he hates that event, but 4% projected ownership for a guy who shows he can shoot minus 27 or whatever it was in an event with a high career ceiling. And again, 4% owned at 6,900. Thompson's the type of guy that we love to play in these types of spots. All right, moving on down. We already talked about Carl Yuan. Let's see here. We have Patton Kizzire, 2%, who has not missed a cut here. 4 for 4, I believe, in cuts here, 2% owned. And yeah, Sugar House not liking some of these guys we're pointing out, but again, that's why they're lower owned. When all else fails, if you're watching this, you're like, I'm not going to sign up for Occupy Fantasy. That's fine. We appreciate you watching anyways. I'm not going to sign up for other sites. I'm going to do my own ownership projections. You can get a rough back of the napkin calculation just by comparing a golfer's odds to win and their salary and other guys around them. So when the odds move against them, naturally their ownership's going to decrease. So we see that with guys like Patton Kizzire. Totally fine. We don't mind playing those guys in the largest high-risk contest. Any other guys we want to talk about here? We talked about Cameron Champ last week. Pretty disappointing after that opening round. But he's been gaining strokes tee to green. Putting has let him down. Not what you want to hear coming into a putting contest, but as I said at the top of the show, putting, that can vary wildly week to week. And all it takes is one lesson, one coaching session, one workout to get the putting right. It's really hard to predict, and at 1% ownership for a guy who has a T12 here, T11, whatever he finished a couple years ago, you think of Champ as a bomber, and this course is about driving accuracy, but he's shown that he can play well on this course, and even played well for a good stretch last week on a similar type of course. So Champ at 1%, a guy who's won on the PGA Tour before. We'll take that all day in the largest contest. Let's not forget, we're not playing these guys in cash games or low risk or small field contests, high risk contests only. Any other guys I want to mention here? I think that's it. Let me just scroll down a little bit to make sure I don't miss any names. I mean, we dug deep last week for Chad Ramey, and he played pretty well. Ended up finishing like top 15. And he's another great play this week, similar conditions. So Chad Ramey. All right, I think that's it. I think we named enough guys. All right, let's go back to DraftKings. That'll do it for this video. If you're not already, make sure you are subscribed here on YouTube. It is free to do. You'll get notified whenever we go live, upload any videos here on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed first and foremost. Like half of our viewers aren't subscribed. Rectify that. Subscribe. It'll do us a favor. It'll do you a favor as well. Give us a thumbs up. Obviously, it helps us out. More thumbs up we get, the more views we're likely to get in the YouTube algorithm. So, let's just be honest here. But it also lets us know that you like these videos and we should continue to do them. If we put out a bunch of types of videos and we don't get a lot of thumbs ups, not a lot of engagement, that lets us know that, hey, people maybe aren't interested and we'll stop doing these videos. So if you like these videos, the best way to keep supporting them is to give us a thumbs up. We see 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 thumbs ups, whatever we can get to. That lets us know, hey, all right, people are watching, they like it, let's keep making these videos. So that's the best way to show your support. And also Occupy Fantasy, all the tools you saw on screen, the daily plug, top plays, lineup construction tips, very important. Ownership, course breakdowns. The Occupy model ranks every golfer, FanDuel and DraftKings with our proprietary metrics. And our lineup builder allows you to build up to 300 lineups. So OccupyFantasy.com, get access to those premium tools. All the links are in the description below. Any questions you have, you can always comment on this video. Always love to hear your predictions. If you make a great prediction on a comment section below, we'll call you out the following week. So make any predictions, drop any questions about the slate below. I think that's it. Then we got all the housekeeping out of the way. So Brian Jester for Occupy Fantasy, thank you for listening, and good luck at the John Deere Classic.